Yo, yo, yo. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening with you? What's happening with you? This is your man. This is management. Yo, I'm coming to you. Management's happy. Management is really happy because the Gladiators made a statement last week, and I'm so proud of you guys. Um, it was a hard message for many, or rather for some, but it was the message that we've been trying to get across for the longest time, and that is the singular message: no one cares about Jake Ballard except Shonda Rhimes. You guys have spoken, and with the lowest ratings in the prime demographic area between 18 and 49, Scandal delivered 4.9 million viewers. It was number two, actually two or three. I think it's actually number three. It was number three in the ratings, and I'll just say number two because I know somebody out there is going to fact check me. So I'm going to say number two, but I think it was number three among the four shows that were on at 9 o'clock on Thursday Eastern Standard Time. But let's just say it was 2 o'clock. They were number two. Fact is, it was the lowest ratings that Scandal has had since it premiered in 2012. You guys spoke, and what you said was that, this episode's going to be about Jake not watching. not watching. You Negroes didn't. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Now, forgive my room. It's dirty. I got clothes back here. I need to fold up, but it's hot in here. So give me a second. Okay. You Negroes was like, no. The promos. So this is what happened. Shonda was doing the promos about getting the Jake Ballard backstory. And do you guys know that midway through the week, ABC pulled those promos? Oh my God. So let's just get into it because there's not a whole lot to say. Just so you know, I watched the episode a total of 3 times. And I'm going to be absolutely honest with you and no bullshit. Because you know me, I don't bullshit. I couldn't watch the entire episode the first time. I just tried to watch it the second time and fell asleep. And I refused to do this blog without having watched it a complete third time. So I actually fell asleep on it and then had to turn it back on and watch it over again before I could come out here and do this for you. I hated this story. And I knew that I would because I don't give a fuck about Jake Ballard or his backstory or if he's going to get married or not. I don't care. And guess what? Neither do most of the people who used to watch Scandal, because it's a big, long, large fall from 10.5 million to 4.9. And I would tell you this. I don't know whose seat I would rather not be in. Scott Foley, Shonda Rhimes, or the writers, who basically are only taking their direction from Shonda. I personally think that I'd hate to wake up in the morning and be Scott Foley. To know that an entire cast is looking at you and going, if not for your fucking lame ass, we could still be on top of the game here. I mean, it has to be horrible for him. So let's just talk about what happened in the show. And, it was stupid, boring. Starts out with, we get this, so first we get this little boy. So I got to say this. There were so many things that were wrong with this episode. But the thing that was most wrong about the episode was the concerted effort to get us to have pity for Jake. I mean, it was so overt that it garners nothing with me. Nothing. So I see the little boy. And at first I'm kind of going, this might actually turn out, be a good episode because, in previous Scandal, when Scandal was really Scandal, they start off with this kind of strange opening with characters you knew nothing about, and that would end up being the Scandal for the week. But no, the little boy is Jake. He can't be not more than 9 years old, and he's sitting on the porch playing with his little army men, and he's hearing his father tell his mother that he can molest his daughter if he wants to, and if she don't like it, he'd beat the shit out of her, and apparently he did. And so he's 8 years old there, and then when Jake is 30, he goes back and kills him, and then he joins B613. That's his backstory. That's it. A whole hour to find out that when he was 8, his father molested his sister, which apparently is why now he molests his sister, Olivia. And then he went back and killed him. And then after he killed him, he joined B613. Do you care? I know I don't. So, but anyway, that was his story. I guess we were supposed to feel sorry for him because his family was dysfunctional like every family on Scandal, but whatever. That was it. We got his backstory. And so, then what was interesting about this is that, so his father, Jake's biological father, I guess, was creeping into his sister's room, to finger fuck her. Fast forward 30 years, and then that's what Jake was doing with Olivia. Creeping into her room, figure fucking, his quasi-sister. And then we kind of go to the scene where Olivia's, in her bedroom, her childhood bedroom, and Jake comes in, and he's concerned because, Olivia killed this man last week. The scene where she beat the invalid to death. So Jake is concerned and seeing if she's okay, and he brings her some toast. And so what we find is... after he brings us the toast and Olivia says no, she doesn't want it, then Papa Pope comes in and tells Olivia that they moved up the wedding, Jake's wedding, a week earlier. So Olivia goes on this jog, right? And so she goes jog and she meets up with her employees. A funny looking black dude isn't there this week, so I don't know what that was about. He wasn't there. But Huck and Quinn meet up with her and they go, hey, so do they know what you're doing? And she's like, no, they have no idea. Okay, so for a fleeting moment, I got excited and I thought, wait a minute, so is Olivia actually doing work this week? Or, what's up? So she's like, no, I know what Jake's weakness is. His weakness is me. And, I'm going to find out what's going on. So I asked this question last week, or not last week, but the week before. What is the plan? Like, what exactly is Olivia's plan here? Because she keeps implying that she'll do anything to beat Jake. But what is she beating him at? So is all of this, and I'm telling you, this better not be it. If she's going through all of these gymnastics just so she can distract Jake to make Melly president, I want them to cancel it. I want them, ABC, to just swoop in and say, I know we renewed you for season 6, but we just can't. This is just too stupid. Because I don't understand What is the plan? Like, why is she involving her employees in this big plan that has something to do with her pretending to be depressed so that Jake does what? Like, so that's the great big question mark, right? So then we shift scenes up. Wait, okay, there we go. Hold on, let me get you. There we go. All right, so then we shift the scene where Olivia's apparently, okay, boom, boom, boom. So now we get the case of the week. We get the case of the week. So after we get the scene where Olivia informs her staff, like, no, they don't have any idea. Then Quinn and Huck go back to the office and they put Jake's picture up there. Jake is the case for the week. That's it. And so then we are tortured with flashbacks of the B613 induction thing. Oh God. These writers have run out. They just have no ideas of what to do anymore. They killed B613 in season 4. Now we're getting flashbacks at B613 in season 5. I don't know. Okay, so then we get the really poorly acted drunk scene by Olivia, where she essentially says to Jake, "Hey, you don't love this chick, Vanessa. Why are you doing this?" He admits that he doesn't love her, but that their father wants him to be vice president. Now, maybe I was able to ascertain this by deduction, or they told us this already. But didn't we already know that was the plan? I don't understand why we're going through all of these tricks and stuff for things that we already know. We know that Papa Pope wants Jake in the White House in a powerful role. So if he's supporting Edison, then the plan is to get Jake to be vice president. Ultimately, to make this whole sort of House of Cards sort of thing where you kind of get the vice president in there, he gets the vice president role, and ultimately he becomes president. But I thought we already knew this. So if we already knew this, then all of this is like, why? Why is Olivia pretending to get information that she already knows? Anyway, so then Shonda gives Jake and Olivia a song, The Midnight Train to Georgia. And after hearing this song where Jake announces that he is in fact going to marry Vanessa and asks Olivia to tell him what to do, Olivia goes into her childhood bedroom, thinks about Jake being with Vanessa, and then decides she wants to be with Jake. I am not even going to go back and say how 7 months ago she just killed Fitz's baby. I'm not even going to go back and talk about how she was with Fitz for 7 years, where there was clearly chemistry. I'm just going to say that bitch laid in her bed and decided that she was now in love with Jake. And make no bones about it. The writers and Shonda are making it clear. She is not pretend in love with Jake. She is not kinda in love with Jake. Make no bones about it. Shonda is telling us that Olivia is in love with Jake, the man that killed her goddaughter's father, the man that choked her out, the man who has killed many people to get what he wants, threatened her. She's in love with that guy. And Shonda is making it very clear that that's who she wants to be with. And if any of you interpreted that scene as her just saying those things to protect Jake, you're wrong. She did say those things to protect Jake. but she meant it. She loves Jake, right? And I said saying those things to protect Jake. She did say those things to protect Jake, but she loves Jake, right? So we have to come to terms with that. Shonda has decided she does not like Fitz. And so that whole relationship was a farce. We were bamboozled. Her real love of her life is Jake. So she goes and fucks Jake and in her bedroom. And then they got to come up with a plan. So how do we get you out of this situation with our father? And so then they go to OPA. This is... They go to OPA. And at OPA, they're trying to plot. What can they come up with to get Jake out of her father's clutches? And so they come up with this plan, or Olivia comes up with this plan. Stand your fiance up at the altar. That way, you debunk any probability of your becoming vice president or being elected, and then you and I can run off together and be happy. And again, for those of you who are thinking that she's just saying this and she doesn't mean it, you got to remember the scene where Huck comes in and says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm ready to be happy." And she smiles. She's getting ready to go marry Jake or go off with Jake. So then, let's see. So then she goes to the church where I guess she's going to watch the plan come to fruition. And then her father, as always, knows what's going on and comes in and says, "I know what your plan is. And if Jake doesn't marry Vanessa today, I'm going to slit his throat." Storyline plot hole. I know Shonda would like for us all to forget that for the entire season of 4, just about, Papa Pope was trying to kill Jake, and he failed every time. Every single time. Jake was actually stabbed 864,375,642,218 times, and he still didn't die. But now he's just going to slit him and he's going to be dead. And so now Olivia is scared to death. So she goes and tells Jake, "You just a lesser version of Fitz." And notice how Shonda dipped into her Olitz bag of tricks. So she was dangling a little hope to the Olitzers. Like, "I didn't love you. I love Fitz. I'll always love Fitz. You're just a lesser version of Fitz." Blah, 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 blah. That bitch and that... It was stupid. The scene was stupid. The threat from Papa Pope was stupid. Olivia being in love with Jake now is stupid. Jake's wedding was stupid. His backstory was stupid. This was a stupid episode. Did you guys see it? And let me tell you what they did at the end. You know, at the end when they do the scandal, like they ended the episode and they show Scandal, and what it was in the past, it had images of Fitz and Olivia in the letter Scandal. Did you guys catch that at the end it was all Jake? Oh my God, this was so stupid. So Jake marries the woman who, I don't know, I'm guessing her lifespan on Scandal is not going to be long because, you know, his wives don't last. And that was the show. That was it. The Jake Ballard backstory. 1.5 1.5 in the key demographic promo, which resulted into 4.9 million. The lowest ratings of Scandal ever. So, I'm done. I know this is probably the shortest review that I've ever given, but it was so boring and so stupid and so overtly trying to make us feel for Jake that I could do nothing but halfway sleep through it. It was stupid. And now Olivia is in love with Jake. What saddens me about this show, and we're gonna, you know what? For the first time in history, with the exception of my teasers, this is gonna be the shortest blog that I've given because I'm done. What is sad about this show is that Shonda is making Olivia Pope the stereotypical thought. She isn't in love with the man that loves her completely and would do nothing to harm her and would do everything for her. But she's instead in love with the serial killer who has verbally and physically abused her and has violated her in the middle of the night, has stalked her, threatened her life. That's the guy she wants to be with. Not the guy that loves her unconditionally and would do anything for her, but the hood rat that is basically a killer. That's who she's in love with. And she's in love with Jake. You guys have got to accept that. There is no, oh, she really is in love with Fitz. See, she just told Jake. No, there's none of that. She meant that. That's why they was playing all them stupid ass sappy songs. The first time I ever saw your face, the Midnight Train to Georgia, Jake. That's it. I have nothing else. This was a awful episode. It was poorly written. The acting was from Olivia over the top, and from Jake, he gave you that same Blake try to be dreamy, charismatic, less sexy, less blah expression that he always gives, with his old fucked up toupee that covers that big bald spot. I mean, it was, you know what? Prince died, and I just want to say that I was not a huge fan of his work, but I certainly appreciated the artistry that he brought. And it was tragic to hear about his passing. He was a great humanitarian from what I've read and heard of him. There were a couple of songs of his that I really enjoyed. And so I'm going to end this blog pretty much the way that I started it, with a tribute to Prince and my most favorite song by Prince, which is Soft and Wet. This is Management, and I am going to be back next week, because next week, Olivia, who has now beat an invalid to death and left Jake jilted, is now determined to get... She's now determined to get Melly nominated for president. This show is fucking stupid.